Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot and welcome to our coverage of the brand new DLC for Jurassic World Evolution, The Secrets of Dr. Wu. Over the next 5 videos, we're going to take a look at each of the brand new dinosaurs one by one. I'm going to avoid story spoilers completely. If you've been worried about that, I'm not going to mention how these dinosaurs are unlocked or how they play into the story. You can find that out for yourselves tomorrow when the DLC releases, or in my playthrough, or albeit anyone else's playthrough as well. So we're going to look at each of the dinosaurs one by one, we're going to look at all of their skins, and when it comes to the carnivores, we're also going to look at their attack animations and their hunting animations and stuff like that. We're going to begin today with the Olorotitan. We're going to do a quick little stat comparison if we click over here between the Olorotitan and the Parasaurolophus. So Olorotitan attack 22, defense 0, and Parasaurolophus attack 10, defense 0. Parasaurolophus, if I learn to speak English, does have higher lifespan and resilience, but the Olorotitan, generally speaking, is quite a high value dinosaur in terms of sheer stats. You can see that it's much higher than the Parasaurolophus. Now, of course, for Hadrosaurs this doesn't really matter, but what it does mean is that they will be much better at breaking out, so that's something to look forward to. Now, the Olorotitan does have 6 skins in total. Let's start with the basic. What you may notice is it's not a particularly large dinosaur. We will do a size comparison with the Parasaur a little bit later on once all the others have been birthed, but it's about the same size as the other Hadrosaurs in the game. It is, however, beautiful. That crest on the head is really nice and colourful, especially in some of the others we'll see in a second. And there are 2 main textures for the dinosaur. There's 6 skins, 3 of them have this texture, and 3 of them have a slightly more jagged sort of striping, which we will see in a moment, I'm sure, when we look at the Alpine Pattern for the Olorotitan. This is one of my personal favourites because of that crest, that colouring on it. It's this kind of, it's decided to stick its head in a tree so we can't really see it, but it's this kind of mix of purples and pinks and yellows. It gives this sort of galaxy space-like look to it. Now you'll see here this is the other texture compared to the other one. If we try to compare the two here, there's no stripes on the tail like this one has, the banding around the tail. How is there a disease when I turn that off? Who knows? Let's send the guy in. But the striping along the side of the body is much more jagged and rough than it is on the others. It's also a little bit brighter. You'll see this blue here, this teal, it's basically fluorescent. Even in the darkness it really shows up brightly. There's also an extra stripe banding down the middle of the dinosaur. Moving on, next up we have the Taiga pattern. And there it is, you can see this matches the texture of the second one, again with that jagged, rough striping on the side. And again, this really fluorescent colouring. I don't know why that's been the choice, but it's really bright. Even at night time when you release these dinosaurs into the dark, we'll show you that in a little bit, it really still sticks out. This is the watermelon dinosaur, as I've come to know it, just because I think the crest really has that watermelon sort of colouring to it, that green and purpley pink. Now, you may have noticed the arms shaking just there on the Olorotitan. The Olorotitan does have a little bit of a problem with its front limbs, its arms. When it goes to sleep in particular, the arms go absolutely crazy. I will try to highlight that if any of our dinosaurs decide to have a little bit of a nap. Next up anyways is the Rainforest Pattern, my least favourite. So classically, as far as I was concerned, the Rainforest patterns were usually quite bright. This one reminds me a lot more of the Majungasaurus, that sort of tepid, pale blue. Doesn't really scream rainforest to me. And unfortunately, the crest itself is also very boring compared to all the other Olorotitans. I'm not really sure why this choice has been made, but I'm sure some of you at home prefer these more dull colourings on your dinosaurs and may well love this one. To me, this looks like it's depressed. It's like it's in a public access commercial or something. The other dinosaurs are all super happy, and this is the one standing in the corner all grey because it's unhappy and depressed. I'm very sorry, Olorotitan. It just looks morbid. This is me when I was 16, an emo little dinosaur. But hey, some of you might love it, and it does create a nice little bit of variety within the group, as you can see there. Don't they look fantastic when put together? Yes, they do. Moving on, we have 2 more to go. This is the arid pattern. This is my personal favourite off the bunch. I really like the bright colouring the body has and that golden almost stripe. But most in particular, I really like the colouring on the crest. That combination of the oranges fading into a red with the sort of blue around it. It does have an arid sort of look to it while still being really bright and colourful. This is my favourite. I'm very curious. Let me know in the comments down below as well when we've seen all 6, which of the 6 is your favourite and which is the least. So favourite for me is arid, and least, unfortunately, is the rainforest. Usually my favourite skin colouring. Not today. One more Olorotitan to go then, the vivid. Unfortunately, the vivid isn't so vivid. It reminds me a lot of the Velociraptor with this deep, almost burgundy coloured purple around the body. It's very similar to the raptor colouring, although a little bit brighter. The crest at least has a little bit of colour in there, unlike the raptor, but generally speaking, for a vivid dinosaur, it's just not that vivid. Vivid is meant to be purple, by the by. And also, it's meant to be vivid. It's in the name, vivid. But for some reason, the vivid dinosaurs in this game, a lot of them are just a little bit dull. But still a perfectly pretty little dinosaur. So that's all the skins. We'll go through them one more time quickly, in case you want to catch up. So, vivid. Basic, lovely stuff. Alpine, my favourite personally. Look at that crest, that is good. Doesn't it remind you of like a galaxy of space for some reason? I think it's the purple. Tiger, quite a nice one, the watermelon dinosaur. Not convinced on the fluorescent orange, but still pretty cool. Rainforest, the depressed one. And arid, my personal favourite. Which one did I say was my favourite? Alpine? No. Although Alpine's pretty cool. Arid, my favourite. Beautiful. Right, we're going to keep an eye out for sleep animation, but I also want to release a Parasaurolophus. I really want to show you guys the size comparison between these 2 dinosaurs. And also for my own entertainment as well, because I've never actually done this test. Okay, you can do that, buddy. Let him release. We're going to keep an eye out for any sleeping dinosaurs, and we're also going to skip forward a little bit and have a look at them in nighttime. But already you can see from this image right there that the Olorotitan and the Parasaurolophus are essentially the same size. If anything, the Parasaur feels a little bigger just because it's got a thicker stomach, a thicker body in general. The tail is a bit thicker, and of course the head crest on the Parasaurolophus, I say, is a little bit more boom, a little bit more in your face. It's absolutely freaking gigantic. So those of you who are hoping for a big hadrosaur that can fight back, unfortunately that's not what we have. We do have a very regular sized hadrosaur like the Olorotitan likely was, and it doesn't have any special abilities or fighting or anything. It is, for all intents and purposes, like every other hadrosaur in the game. Quick little look at nighttime here. You can see just how bright these stripes still really stick out even in the middle of the night. It makes the dinosaurs quite interesting to look at. This one in particular, the watermelon one with the bright orange on the skin, really is quite vivid despite it being a very dark night. So I think it's a really interesting thing for the dinosaurs to have. Whether you like it or not is another matter, but it makes the dinosaurs stand out a little bit. It is a beautiful dinosaur. That long neck, because it is the Titanic swan dinosaur, really does make it look original. I'm a little disappointed personally we have yet another hadrosaur. I don't know if that was necessary, but it's still a very pretty hadrosaur and one I'm sure a lot of you will be happy to have in your parks. I'm going to wait now for them to go to sleep so I can show you that animation as well, and then we will be done. Okay folks, for some reason they are refusing to go to sleep for me. It's nothing to do with the daytime, they do just sleep at any time of day. It's when they're fully satiated and happy, which they all are. I'm gonna just go ahead and splice in a clip I got a little bit earlier of them sleeping. Enjoy that, you'll see the arm thing I mentioned, and but it's still a very cute little animation which I'm really glad has been added to the game. For those unaware, dinosaurs will now exhibit sleeping behaviour, and it'll come up on their status and stuff like that. Even if you don't get the DLC, that is part of patch 1.5, which should come out tomorrow for all of you at home anyways. And that's about all I can show you for the Olorotitans, folks. Obviously no kill animations, no fight animations or anything like that. They're just gonna... oh, hello. Well, right here we have actually the sleep animations as well, added in patch 1.5, which is absolutely free. Even if you don't have the DLC, you'll have this. Dinosaurs, when they're now satiated, when they're happy, they'll occasionally just go to sleep. Like this lovely little fellow. Oh, they're all doing it. Oh, down they go. There's a little bit of a buggy animation when they go down. Hopefully that gets fixed because the arms are going mental. Thank you so much for joining me. In an hour we will be back with the Troodon video. Until then, cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye. A little shout out at the end. This video and others like it would not be possible at all without the support of you guys watching me at home, and also everyone on this Patreon page right here who supported me in the last month. If you want to help out as well, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Every little really helps. Cheers.